We just had another mass shooting. A guy who took his dad's legally purchased guns, which weren't even assault rifles. Should we expect action now? No, of course not. I mean, what happened after Parkland? Nothing. At least not at the federal level. I mean, sure, there was a whole lot of yelling, a whole lot of marching, and a whole lot of grandstanding, but no legislation. I'm not surprised. Not even a little bit. Because the protesters repeated exactly what happened after Sandy Hook. And after Sandy Hook, no new legislation was passed at the federal level. This happened because instead of making a deal, the protesters chose to engage in partisan bickering, which is what always happens, which never accomplishes anything. At CNN's town hall, a Republican showed up, although some others passed, but Marco Rubio was there to make a deal, to hear people out. Instead, the people there chose to attack him and cast aspersions.
Your comments this week and those of our president have been pathetically weak.
Senator Rubio, it's hard to look at you and not look down the barrel of an AR-15.
The fact that you can't stand with everybody in this building and say that, I'm sorry.
In the name of 17 people, you cannot ask the NRA to keep their money out of your campaign?
Granted, this was just days after the attack, so they were obviously still grieving and angry, but they missed an opportunity. Rubio mentioned that people don't talk to each other anymore, and the students proved him right in the subsequent weeks. They chose to shame politicians and attack the NRA.
We don't respect you just because you have senator in front of your name.
Right.
And Mr. Rubio, if you don't believe me, watch, the news.
To every politician who is taking donations from the NRA, shame on you.
Look, Wayne LaPierre, Dana Loesch.
Right.
The NRA has got to go.
All tactics like this do is ignore the real problems in the system and polarize the debate, guaranteeing failure. Here's how they screwed up. There was 97% support for background check reforms after Parkland. So even if we assume that the 3% against it were all Republicans, that means 25 of the remaining 97% were also Republicans, because registered Republicans are about 28% of the population. So as soon as it became partisan, they alienated about a quarter of their support. And there was plenty of support from NRA members too. They also alienated a lot of independents like me, whose response to partisan nonsense is normally this. The other mistake they're making is digging in their heels on assault weapons. The ban in the 90s either did nothing or next to nothing, depending on which study you read. Reforms like better background checks and better mental health care could prevent hundreds or thousands of homicides and suicides, but the activists won't let the assault weapons thing go, even though it's small ball compared to the other two. Face it, most people are killed by handguns. Banning assault weapons won't stop most murders. It wouldn't have stopped the Texas shooting. And banning handguns really isn't going to happen. Better mental health care and screening would not only prevent many of these mass shootings, almost all of which are carried out by a deranged person, but it would also prevent many suicides, which comprise about 2/3 of all gun deaths in the United States. The activist mistake is that they're trying to take too much.
When they give us that inch, that bump stock ban, we will take a mile.
If they try to take a mile, they won't even get an inch. But if they settle for half a mile or even 3/4 of a mile, they'll do more good than has been done in years. Instead, they're threatening to flip the Congress if they don't get what they want, which is a waste of time. Because even if they flip the Congress, there's little chance they'll get a veto-proof majority, which means their bill will not pass until they get a Democratic president, which won't happen for at least 2 years. Who knows how many mass shootings will happen between then and now. So if you want to do some good, stop yelling, stop grandstanding, stop attacking the NRA, and stop attacking Republicans. Give up on the assault rifles. Focus on a bill with background check reforms and mental health care reforms. You still have a chance to make it sail through the House and the Senate. If you're really interested in changing the world, this is how that gets done.
Okay. Yeah.